Welcome everybody to the Chinchilla Pickin' Podcast. It is September the 1st, 2025 at 4:28 p.m. Happy Labor Day. As always, we hope to be entertaining, educational, and uplifting because we want everyone to make money. My name is David Underwood, and I'm joined by the one and only Brandon Beaver. Brandon, how are you?
I just keep hearing the comparison to today's market and the dot-com bubble. And, I wasn't investing during the dot-com bubble, but I've been always very interested in economics, so I paid attention to it. And there's still no comparison here. People
None.
keep wanting to try to do it, and it just,
It's different. I did not invest during that time, but I did start a company during that time. Like every other person my age started a company, a dot com, if you will, during that time. And it's just something we all did. We all had a dot com. We all had websites because websites were new. We all knew this was going to be huge. We all wanted to take our shot at it. Some of us ended up becoming billionaires. Other people, like myself, did not. So, um, this does not seem at all like dot com bubble. I'm sorry.
yeah, I had a couple of websites that might still be floating out there that were more like teenage blogs and such. They're probably somewhere out there still, somewhere.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, everybody had those teenage blogs, those websites, those little things they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we all learned how to do HTML and all that. Yeah,
A little bit, right? Even MySpace.
yeah,
All
right.
right. All right. We're here about stocks and investments. I know it's Labor Day. Lots of cool things. Weather's calmed down. I know we sometimes we talk about weather. A lot of things are changing. August was a down month. At the beginning of August on this show, I said August and September are typically down months, especially August. I said that. I said, watch your investments. Be careful when you put new money in August because it's a down month. You put new money in, it could go down. Do your research. Be safe with it. Look for opportunities when everything goes down. There are going to be some that didn't need to go down. Those are the ones you want to buy at those moments. September, yes.
No, the S&P 500's up about 2%.
No, it's not. Really?
Yeah, month to date. Well, the SPY is the ticker for SPY.
Okay. Well, August, September, typically down months of the year. The highest percentage of being a down month of the whole entire year is August, September. That's why you get that bounce back in October. It's a great month to buy in September because you get the bounce back in October. Fabulous time. Everybody's excited about the holidays. Yada yada yada. I bought bullish last month, Brandon, and I don't know if you've been watching the stock price on bullish. It has not been bullish. I I am not happy at all with my bullish investment right now. I even did it in steps, 20 like 10 to 20% at a time of buying it as it went down. Did not matter. I am still down. Bullish is killing me. I do expect bullish to move back up come October when Bitcoin and all the other crypto and all those other crypto exchanges and everything else moves back up because it's crypto related, right? The current administration is so crypto heavy favorably that I don't see this not moving back up. I just don't know if I believe in it enough anymore and to hold on because it hasn't. I haven't seen fundamentals on this for too long period of time because they just IPO'd. So I don't have the historical data of numbers to go off of. You know what I mean? And so I'm kind of going off of what they've given us when they IPO'd and then kind of just watching and reading different clips and news of here, there, and that now that they're a public company and they have to file different things, reading the different news. And I don't know. It's testing my confidence, Brandon, and I'm going to be honest with you, man. I might sell and take the loss. I might.
Could it be possible that we had a bubble for crypto assets in the stock market?
No, see, that's the thing. No, because I don't think so. I don't think so. There's just so many advances. So like Bitcoin, right? It's Bitcoin's different than a lot of these other cryptos. You've admitted this. I've admitted this. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana are all in a group on their with Ripple, all in a group on their own. Bitcoin, all the treasuries around the world, the major treasuries are buying up a Bitcoin reserve, right? A lot
Right.
of companies have Bitcoin reserves. I've made the case on this show time and time and time and time again that the more these Bitcoin reserves that get bought up and held, that's going to lower the amount of supply in the market. That's just going to raise up the price. That's going to make the exchanges more valuable. I've
Okay.
maintained that position and I still maintain that position. I believe that it's going to become more and more and more valuable. So the exchanges are going to make more money because more money is going to want to come into it,
Okay.
right? I maintain that, but and so if I hold it, maintaining that, you would say, well, then Dave, you should just hold bullish because according to that theory, eventually you're going to make your money. Yes, that's true. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm still holding bullish is because eventually, yes, it should move up enough to where I'm making money.
Okay.
But that's where I'm at on that. That's enough bullish talk for me because I'm frustrated. That's the word. I'm frustrated, Brandon. I'm frustrated. It is what it is. I'm frustrated like the Reds are right now because they can't put it together and get to the postseason. But
Things happen. I mean, we can't have every, win. We cover our wins and losses on the show.
right,
It is one of the competitive advantages we have over a lot of these TikTokers and Twitters that
stock
as soon as
Twitters.
they'll make a call. They'll make a call, and when it goes south, you can't find them again. You don't know
Right,
whether
yeah, they disappear or they never admit that or they erase the post where they made that call. It's just
right,
because they don't make calls ahead. A lot of them don't make calls ahead of time. They only say they called something after the fact. But like, where was your post about it ahead of time?
right.
Yeah,
Well, I
we
mean,
make
we cover our
all of
wins
our
and
posts are
losses.
out there. All of our everything's out there. You could go back and you could see if we actually said this or that, and you could check
Right,
us.
right. You could still go back and listen to the "I'm a Bull in a China Shop" episode. And then you could go back and listen to all the times that I've covered where my mistake was in that.
And you can listen
Now I
back
get
to when I
nope.
said ARK Innovation was a great ETF to own when it was going up. And then 2 months later, I said ARK Innovation is trash as it was going down.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I had no
Right.
idea what I was talking
But
about.
conversely, though, you could go back and still listen to the show where I called Meta a buy or, General Electric a
Yep.
buy before the splits. And, both of those companies you've made about 5 times your money on now. So
Yes.
there you
Yes.
go.
Lots there to go back and look at. Yeah. It's been a fun run. I don't know how many years have we been doing this?
I don't know. I don't even know. I have to look.
I just enjoy it. I would do it regardless if anyone listened, but we have a few loyal listeners who actually reach out and DM
I
us.
know.
So
Yeah. It's
we
been
got to
four
keep going for you
years,
guys.
3 or 4 years somewhere on there.
Yeah,
I
it's been
have
a
to
while,
look
man.
on Apple Podcasts. It's yeah.
Yeah. All
My
right.
chair
Well,
still squeaks. 200 episodes in, it's still a squeaky chair.
200, man. All right. Here we go, guys. Rules. Everybody knows the rules. Brandon and I get together 5 to 10 minutes before the show and we tell each other what we're going to talk about. You hear the back and forth, the bicker and the banter right here on the show for you. Brandon, take it away.
How many times have you heard the Great Rotation?
A
Still,
lot.
10. Yeah.
A lot.
And even over the past 10 years, this happens like twice a year.
Yeah.
Tech's no longer the leader. It's now the financials. And of course, it's just taking a break. That's all it is. It'll return. And Nvidia's still a buy. Still the
Nvidia's
most
still a
important.
buy.
It's still the
JP
most
Morgan's
important.
still a buy too, though. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It's still the most important company in the world that hasn't changed.
Yes.
But I'm going to go over their earnings report here a little bit. I want to. There's no ugly. We say the good,
It
bad.
went down. It went down though because they cut revenue, right?
Yeah, they
That's
cut.
what the articles and the talking heads were saying.
No, no, no.
Revenue cuts, right?
No, there's no revenue cuts. That's
Well, let's
ridiculous.
see. Go. Let's dig into the numbers.
All right. So I mean, if anything, then maybe talking about the law of large numbers, where the revenue had been up like 150 to 200% prior, year over year, and now that's kind of mediating. I mean, you'd expect that after
You
you've grown
expect
so
that.
fast
I
so fast.
expect that. But the people who want to get rich quick, they want to turn $1 into a million in 1 month. They don't like that.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. So total revenue for the quarter came in at $46.743 billion. It's a 56% increase um, from the 30.4 billion reported in the second quarter of 2025. So year over year, 56% increase. 6% increase quarter over quarter. Um, Beat estimates of $46.23 billion. The big news here for me was the profitability growth. So incredible strength here. On a non-GAAP basis, the diluted earnings per share was a 54% increase, came in at $1.05. Um, net income increasing by 59%. Operating expenses did increase 36% year over year. So to have your net income increase by 59% when your operating expenses increase by 36%, 36% is an eye-popping number.
Yes.
But then you still kept your net income increasing by 59%, meaning your profitability is growing faster than those operating expenses were. It's just wild. This company
It's
is operating on a different level.
it is operating on a tremendous level, and what we've said on the show many times before is there's no competitor in sight. We said this a year ago, within 5 years. Now it's 4 years. They are actually, I think there's competitors coming up that will be in sight in that time frame.
The biggest problem for Nvidia is the hyperscalers like Meta and Amazon and Google building out their own AI infrastructure.
Now, can you n not everyone that listens to the show is a seasoned investor or knows everything about technology. What is a hyperscaler? How would you define that?
So that's, I mean, that's somebody that is investing billions and billions of dollars into artificial intelligence and growing out very quickly with us. That's a hyperscaler.
Gotcha.
So that's your top, guys. It's your Microsofts, your Google, your Meta, people who are trying to get away from paying what they call the Nvidia tax because Nvidia has such pricing power right now that, it's expensive to buy,
Yeah, because where else are you going to go?
yeah, because they are trying to build out their own infrastructure for artificial intelligence. That's where you need to look. It's not Intel, in my opinion, or AMD. They've got too much of a moat here with what they call the full stack scale of offerings that they have for their companies, the software, the hardware, and the artificial intelligence all working hand in hand and being this CUDA software ecosystem for NVIDIA is just too impenetrable. It costs too much money to retrain developers to code differently to go with now a competitor like AMD or Intel. Um, Getting out of that ecosystem, which CUDA has become essentially the industry standard for coding. And
Gotcha.
so if you're going to retrain your developers to get out of that system and go with somebody like Intel or AMD, you're going to be spending more money than what it costs you to stay in it or just build out your own AI infrastructure. So
Well,
that's the headwind, but you would expect any company like Nvidia, who's had the amount of success in a very short period of time that Nvidia's had with artificial intelligence, there's going to be headwinds like this and there's going to be competition. It's not a
eventually
reason to
there's going to
sell
be
the
competition.
stock.
Yeah.
It's not because you expect somebody like Jensen Huang
Hinson
and,
Wong.
and yeah, whatever. The leadership of this company, which has been so spectacular for a multi-decade, you know, length of time, they'll handle it. You
Yeah.
have to keep track of it as an investor to make sure that they are. I mean, like we lived through the blockbuster fiasco. So we see those big companies come and go. So you have to watch it, but it's not a reason to say, "Oh, there's competition emerging," which is something that happens in business every freaking day.
All the time.
Yeah,
You're never going to not have competition. You're never going to not have the next big thing or the next smart person out there building whatever, you know? And just because you're first to the field doesn't always mean you're going to be the best.
right. I mean, I've heard this said. a couple of times, and I repeat it. And they say the pioneers get the arrows, the settlers get the land.
Right?
And
Yes.
it's a great like if you
Sorry,
look
I
at
was laughing as a native there, shooting arrows.
I'm sorry, but I mean it's true. It's the look at Apple. It's perfect for Apple. They were not a pioneer in any of the stuff they got into. They
No.
settled it. I mean the smartphone you could
Well, I mean, you can make the case
for the
that
iPhone.
he was a pioneer, but yet he didn't invent the computer. He just remade he made it better.
Right. And they
He didn't
didn't
invent the
invent the
software. He just
tablet.
made it better.
They didn't invent the tablet, but the iPad made it better.
Yes.
They didn't
Yeah, I
invent the
remember the
phone.
first tablets out there. They were awful.
Yeah.
But they just Apple said, no, we're going to take that. We're going to make it amazing.
Right. I mean, the crazy thing is, though, that Nvidia is sort of the pioneer into the artificial intelligence chips.
Well, yes and no. No. Yeah. All right. So you can say yes to artificial chips, right?
Yeah.
Artificial
Art,
intelligence chips. But they made these they've been making chips for years. It's just that their chips are the best suited for it. Intel, AMD, Micron Technology, ARM, all these Broadcom, all these companies, Qualcomm, all had the opportunity to make these type of chips and develop them, and they chose not to.
right.
And so that was Nvidia's choice in order to move in this because Nvidia was just called a company or a Bitcoin mining company because you had to use their graphic cards for all that. So all the gaming systems, VR headsets, everything uses Nvidia graphics cards because they're the best graphics cards. But you know, it was taking that graphic card technology and then using it for AI,
Yeah.
and that's
Well,
where their smartest move came out of.
I mean, speaking of gaming, revenue up 49%.
Really,
That's
that's surprising because people are moving away from consoles.
yeah. Well, I mean, they're going into the PC, which has got the Nvidia chips in
That's
it.
true. It's true.
Well, networking was up 46%. S- let's see what else. Data center.
I was reading an
Kind of
article.
the big focus here was data center up 56% year over year. That was actually a little lower than analysts
That
were.
was another see, that was another headline, and I was gonna go into like Abu Dhabi G42, which is a huge data center company in the Middle East, and they struck deals with Microsoft, Google, and all of them, and they've had a deal with Donald Trump as well, the current administration, on part of the terrorist deal with the nation, to have these data centers. They're trying to not use NVIDIA's chips as much as possible, which is weird, considering the deal that they signed in order to get all these done. But that's a signal that people are trying to move away, but they can't. Even Abu
Right.
Dhabi the G42 company, they can't move away from NVIDIA. They still have to use them, even though they don't want to.
Right. So let's see how Nvidia responds to it. They're going to make it
Right.
for I think people to, but like there's some catalysts coming up here too in the next like 2 years for Nvidia that I'm going to talk about here in the future that I think is going to make it next to impossible for people to move
Well,
away.
there's a couple of startups that are out there that are trying to produce these chips. The problem is these startups do not have the infrastructure and supply chain in place, like NVIDIA, to produce chips at the mass and speed that NVIDIA can. And I mean, but they are able to start, beginning able to start to produce high quality chips, but
Right.
they don't have anything else built
And,
in.
and they don't have the stack, that Nvidia always
Yes.
talks about the ecosystem.
The quote unquote stack.
Right.
Yes. That costs as much as a house.
Right. $13.45 billion in free cash flow for the quarter.
Million or billion?
Billion for the quarter.
That's a lot of free cash flow, man.
That is. They control an
Can they
estimated
drop a bill my way?
somewhere between 80 and 92% of the AI accelerator market, which
Yeah.
is essentially artificial intelligence that me and you know today, like the artificial intelligence that can learn fast. That's the AI accelerator market. They get about 92% of the desktop GPU market.
Man.
Yeah. So that's a moat.
And AI is taking jobs right now.
It
There
is.
are And I've read article after article the past month to 2 months of companies, and I've read some of them here on the show for people to listen to. But of companies saying, "Hey, we don't need to backfill these positions. AI can do it. People can just come in and input data for right now manually until we get it automatically into sheets, and it will spit out different things of what we need to do now. We don't need people to run these formulas or charts or Google Sheets or what have you." And so they're able to already replace jobs at companies this year right now
Right.
and really just minimize it. And then other companies, they're like, let's say we have someone we're paying $100,000 a year for. Well, now AI could do majority of the work. We're going to come in and we're only going to pay people $50,000 a year to do this job because they're not doing as much work, but we still need them for right now.
Yeah.
And so they're just doing things like that in order to save money. So it's already working to save companies money in the tech space.
If anybody has an updated study that could show the amount of jobs created by artificial intelligence compared to the amount of jobs that have been eliminated by artificial intelligence up until this point, send it to me because I have not been able to find anything reliable on this, but I'd like to see it.
And you're not, because if you're going to go to Google and ask them or ask AI for that, is AI going to give you the information that makes it look bad?
It should.
It should.
Well, here's
Let's ask the T1000 how to kill it.
we're at the point right now, like where I just got what you said.
You just it just
I
it
just
just
it just
hit you.
connected. Yeah. So we're at a point right now where I mean I think the next couple of years is going to be both exciting and scary.
It
So
is, because imagine AI and all these robots. So there's Asian companies that are producing these robots that can do warehouse work and other various activities, and then you have the American Tesla Optimus program and Boston was it Boston Robotics?
yeah,
I
which
think
is a
Dynamics.
Nvidia customer. Yeah.
Yeah, so both, I mean, you have those two big American companies that are also producing robots at extreme paces. Yeah, I think I said that right. But imagine putting AI in these individual robots. Now that's going to be crazy.
Well, wait a minute. So second half of this year, Nvidia is going to release the Blackwell Ultra GPU. That's going to be 1.5 times faster than the base Blackwell model, which is currently the best one right now. So that's going to be 1.5 times faster. But following that, they're going to have the Rubin family of GPUs, slated for release in the second half of 2026. Projected performance is about 3 times faster than what we have right now. Then the Rubin Ultra GPU, scheduled for the second half of 2027, 14 times faster than what we have right now.
Man,
This is going to get crazier and
14
crazier
times faster.
in just 2 years
Are
from
they going to catch up with quantum computing?
absolutely. That's
Because
what
right now
that's
there's all these quantum computing companies that are like, we can still do it faster if you have quantum computers doing the work. But like, I feel like eventually we're going to get smart enough to develop technology that can do faster than quant. I don't know. I'm
yeah,
not
I
a
think that's going to be
technology
there.
guy. I don't understand how these all work in detail, so I'm just kind of guessing.
Right.
Someone please DM us and let me know if
We are
what I'm
going to
saying is
have
complete garbage or not.
we're going to have new industries in the next 2 3 years that we didn't even think about today.
Well, the
The-
reason I asked that question is because you have companies like D-Wave Quantum who are saying, "Hey, use quantum computing, use our company because we could do it faster because we have quantum computers." Versus, just developing chips and software that can do it faster and move up to that speed that they're currently doing at the quantum computing level. I don't
Right.
know.
I
I
think
don't
we're
know.
finally starting to see like what people were dreaming in, during the
I
dot.
went to college for marketing, so I don't understand all that.
The next frontier supposedly, and I say that supposedly because things
Frontier,
change, they're changing so fast.
the final frontier.
Yeah, it's going to be the physical AI robotics. It's artificial intelligence interacting with the real world. Jetson Thor is a program from Nvidia that's set up as part of the stack that enables robots to have real-time intelligent interactions with people in the physical world. That's been adopted by Boston Dynamics, a company you were just talking about. Amazon Robotics has adopted it as well from Nvidia. And they got another program called Cosmos. This was introduced in 2025. It's a World Foundation model platform specifically designed to advance physical artificial intelligence with new models, video data processing pipelines for robots, autonomous vehicles, vision AI. This is being used by Uber and BYD, for example. Um,
Gotcha.
and then Drive Thor, that's a centralized car computer platform, also being used by BYD, Xpeng, Li Auto, and a few others in China. So I mean, you still see Nvidia doing deals in China. I think one of the things that kind of set people back was the fact that the H20 chips, we still haven't had a sale in China since the regulations that were announced, I think back in April. And then the Trump administration cut a deal with Nvidia and said, yeah, that okay, the government can get 15% of the revenue, then you can sell the H20 chips to China. But we still don't have H20 chips going to China right now, and there's nothing forecasted for Q3 either. So I think that, a lot of people are looking at that thinking like, oh yeah, we were getting back into the China AI market, and it doesn't seem like we're going as fast as we'd want to go. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, yeah. So they did all right. They did not include any China sales in their numbers and in their forecast and guidance. That is correct, but they do expect to have some. So it's just literally going to be icing on the cake when they report their numbers next quarter.
Right.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, the funny thing is in a way they've turned this to their advantage too because they had a $180 billion sale planned, I think it was for China,
Yeah,
and then that got pushed away, and then they sold it to somebody else for 650 billion. So they actually wound up making more.
good for them,
Yeah, they
right?
didn't act. They said it was a customer outside of China, but they didn't mention who it was.
Okay.
So
All right.
I
Cool.
mean, yeah. So when
It
we
wasn't
talk
you, was
about the
it?
full stack, no, it was not me. So, what is the full stack? So, the full stack is the hardware, the system, that's the software and stuff, um, and the proprietary parallel computing platform called CUDA. That's the environment. That
Cuda.
full stack. And then also NVIDIA AI Enterprise would be in there, which is a suite of software that includes TensorRT. This is basically optimizing artificial intelligence and customizing it for whatever applications that you need.
Which is
There's
crazy because
also
it's so many different applications you can have for this.
right, and then they also offer the Omniverse, which is a simulation platform. Um, I mean, they have people locked in here. I don't see this changing. I still think that NVIDIA is going to be the central nervous system for this artificial intelligence revolution that we're just in the beginning innings of.
There you go. All right, man. Do you guys know anyone named John Connor right now? Become friends. Nice. All right, moving on. Moving up and on. Couple things I want to bring up here. Since we're talking about chips and everything, I guess I could bring up those stories first, right? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe my computer will work, right? I blame Brandon. He didn't give me enough time to prep.
I hear you.
Um,
You there?
here we go.
Yeah,
There it
okay.
is.
Go
It's
ahead.
working now. BYD. So BYD reported earnings recently last week and shares an electric vehicle maker BYD. If you don't know BYD, this company, this is a Chinese company. They're the Chinese equivalent of Tesla, if you will. They reported earnings last week. It actually, the stock price slid on Monday because their quarterly profit fell for the first time in more than 3 years. And what they're saying is, analysts are saying its competitive advantage was being eroded by the Chinese government efforts to stop a price war. Basically, I'll break it down and then I'll give you some numbers. The most 5-year-old version I could put down is that the Chinese government is being pressured to stop lowering the price of BYD by subsidizing it and subsidizing it and subsidizing it to have a lower price than everybody else in the world, which is fake because it's just being subsidized to the point that it's if BYD doesn't make a profit, I don't you're a horribly ran company. But the Chinese government's being pressured to stop doing that as much, and so they had to pull back, and so BYD missed on its profit, which tells me that all of its profit is actually just government subsidies, and if it lost all the government subsidies, it would be not making a profit; it would be negative, and it would lose money.
Well, people said the same thing about Tesla for a long time too, and that
Yeah,
that's
but
what
Tesla not anymore, not anymore.
I know. But that's what makes this tricky. Those government subsidized kind of put the band-aid on a lot of issues, and you don't really know if this company can operate by itself or not.
Correct. So the net profit at the world's biggest EV producer, which is BYD, and it's the world's biggest because I don't know if you're aware of this. There's almost 2 billion people in China. It tumbled 30% in the second quarter. That's eight to $895 million. That's how much it got down to, and this is the biggest EV producer in the world. Only made $890 million, million, not billion. That followed a quarter where they doubled their profit. So Hong Kong, it dropped 5% on the Hong Kong exchange, and after an 8% open, BYD has been aggressively growing. Basically, with the subsidies, Jeffries analysts said BYD's surprising underperformance stemmed from a confluence of lackluster sales momentum and structural headwinds eroding its once formidable competitive moat. Um, a lot of people were cutting their forecasts for BYD to reflect this. In short, here's another quote. In short, BYD's gravy train, fueled by scale, cost cuts, and tech leadership, has lost speed. And until it regains its momentum, underperformance looks likely. So everybody's just dogging them. City analysts said in a client note that they miss their consensus estimate of 7 to 9 billion won and their forecast of 10 billion won. They noted that the price cuts made during the period had failed to improve sales because they cut price on the actual product, so it didn't drive sales higher, and that BYD had paid a 1 billion won special incentive to dealers during that period to push out the product, and it wasn't. So a lot has gone wrong with BYD. They thought that if they just keep cutting the price of these cars, that people were just going to continue to buy them, and that wasn't the case. Um, it's just they need to change a number of things at BYD in order to turn this around. That was not a good quarter reporting. Hopefully, for their sake, it's just one quarter. They can make the changes. They could turn this around and fix it and put this back on the track that it was on, which was growth, growth, growth. I think they need to come up with a plan to get off government subsidy.
All right, we had some technical difficulties there. I lost Dave or he lost me or something happened. I don't know. But I just wanted to kind of piggyback on this and just say when you have those government subsidies that are stacking up, and that's what's causing the customer or the stock to be profitable, it becomes very difficult for an investor to phase out and figure out what is working and what is not, what is artificially inflated, and what actually has promise here. That's the problem, and even can be difficult on a company level. I mean, you could see different metrics and see where your sales are going the fastest and where the most demand is. But when you're muddying the waters with the government contracts, it's very difficult for an investor to step in and say this is what is working and this what is what is not, how much money's being wasted, and all of that stuff. That's why I didn't buy into Tesla when it was only making money because of its
Government
subsidies.
subsidies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I didn't know. And really, if you're an environmentalist, you should be against this kind of stuff too, because it contributes to a lot of waste, a lot of wasteful manufacturing that's not actually meeting the needs of the customers in any way, but it's artificially inflated by government programs. So, for me, I just wouldn't touch BYD until it can make a profit on its own. You don't want to buy a zombie company.
Well, let's talk about his biggest competitor in the global market, Tesla.
Sure.
So this is it's another article. These are two separate articles I'm reading from. I forgot the quote where the first one was from. I already took it off my screen. But Tesla, the headline reads, Tesla's sales route in some European markets extends to an eighth month. This one came out this morning at 6:25 a.m. It goes in to talk about how some European markets, Tesla is losing major market share. So registrations of new Tesla cars in France were down 47.3% in August year over year. While the overall car, see, I don't like how they put these numbers here because they say, but the overall car market grew 2%. Well, that's the overall market, not just the electric vehicle market. Anyways, enough about how they're skewing their numbers here in this article because there are some good numbers in here. Tesla registrations fell more than 84% in Sweden. But they go on to say electric vehicles were flat and the overall market was up. So people are not buying as many electric vehicles, is what it looks like. Tesla registrations dropped 42% in Denmark and 50% in Netherlands and 4.4% in Italy. Norway, where Tesla has deep roots and virtually all new car sales are electric, saw a 21.3% jump in registrations for Tesla, but BYD's registrations jumped 218%. And here is where as we dig into these numbers a little more, I'm going to highlight the problem with BYD and why, this is a slump for Tesla. It's not as bad as what it is for BYD. And here I'm going to get into this. So, after 7 months of declines, Tesla registration in Portugal finally rose 28%. So you see, there's a mixed bag of Tesla going up and down throughout the different countries. It's country by country. There's a lot of reasons behind that we could go into. I like how they give us some details on Spain here, though, and I want to concentrate here. Spain, which provides EV subsidies up to $8,200 per vehicle. Tesla sales rose 161%. BYD's rose 400%, but they actually are almost even in total numbers. BYD's sales in Spain surged overall. This is the full year, 675% to 14,000 cars, while Tesla's sales have dropped for the full year compared to last year this time by 11.6% to 9,303 vehicles. So the reason why I'm highlighting Spain here is they give these details, right? These details show you a different picture. They show you that, yes, BYD has jumped 675%, but yet, in most of these countries, they're either just meeting Tesla or barely beating Tesla. They
Okay.
have these huge jumps, but now they're just a competitor with Tesla, and Tesla's still beating them in some of these countries. So that's what I want to highlight. Like, Tesla's losing market share to BYD. BYD is gaining market share, but now they're disappointed, I think, because they oversaturated and they were trying to cut the price of their car so much through government subsidies that now people are like, I don't know if I really want a BYD either. I mean, it's there's this whole protectionism everywhere right now globally, which I don't like. You don't like, Brandon. And a lot of people aren't buying these BYD vehicles anymore in Europe, which was BYD. Europe was BYD's for the taking, and they went in there and they thought they were just going to swoop it all up, and now it's turning into a back and forth battle with Tesla. The thing that I see here when I look at these numbers and I see this back and forth, I see that there's perfect spot for a competitor to come in that is neither American nor Chinese, that is either European, South American, somewhere else, to come in and say, hey, we're here as well. You can buy us. Because I think right now, I feel like Europe has this, I don't want to buy China, but I don't want to buy Tesla because they don't like Elon Musk. And that's kind of the feeling in Europe. And that's why you see some countries where it's not so bad for Tesla and other countries where it really is.
Who could step up though? Volkswagen?
Nobody.
Maybe?
I mean, you would like to see a Volkswagen. a BMW, something along those lines, step up. But there's an opportunity, there's a space that needs to be filled, and there's nobody there to fill it right now. And it can easily be filled and taken over by somebody, anybody. Toyota, Japanese, there you go.
It's capital intensive industry though, so it's hard to see a new competitor rising out of the ashes and just taking over.
Yeah, but
Uh,
Toyota could do it. They
well,
have the
Toyota
money to back in.
absolutely could do it, but Toyota's been so focused on the hybrid models and not electric itself. So I don't know if they would make that switch or not. Yeah, and
Right.
then you got BMW, but BMW's luxury vehicles, I have a hard time seeing them bringing a new vehicle to market for like, $20,000 or, around there. I would have a very hard time seeing that happen.
Yeah, apparently what I'm finding out is because my child has a BMW now, is this 20,000 just to fix a brake repair on these things.
Yeah, bring your mom's wallet. That's what BMW stands for.
It's a good thing I know somebody who does international repairs here in the city.
Yes, it is a good thing. Right? That's my dad.
Yes. So there are opportunities here. Will Toyota take advantage of it? I don't think so. Like you said, they're focused on hybrid. They're not focused on all electric, but there's great opportunity for somebody else to come in.
Sure.
All right. So the last thing I want to get in is I want to highlight a new company that's coming to market. Well, that's come onto my radar. It came into my radar a few months back, and I apologize for not bringing it up earlier. I was told about it by a gentleman I work out with sometimes, and I forgot all about it. I really did. I forgot all about it. And then he brought it up to me again this week when I was complaining about bullish. He says, dude, you need to really look at this company and invest here. And so the company that we're talking about is LENZ Therapeutics. LENZ Therapeutics. It's LENZ Therapeutics. So what they have, and they have a new eye drop that was just now approved by the FDA on August 1st. August 1st this year, just now approved. You're going to start seeing commercials for this. You're going to start seeing it advertised. You're going to start seeing the commercialization of it. So you need to buy it now if you're going to buy it. And these eye drops, what they fix is a little something that you see everywhere in older adults. If you're an older adult and you wear readers, you don't have to wear readers. You can use these eye drops. Look how
Really?
many millions and millions and millions of people that is, Brandon.
That's me.
You wear readers? No, you
Yeah,
don't.
that's what these are. Essentially, I
Are
mean,
you for real?
yeah, they're
I've known you
prescription.
like almost 17 years, and you're now telling me like these
Yeah,
these
these are
glasses you
these
wear.
are they're prescription glasses, but that's what they're for. They're reading
Oh,
glasses.
that's funny. Yes, eye drops. Eye drops that will correct the vision. So let me read a little bit about the latest article on here. So this article came out August 1st, 2025. On Thursday, U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved LENZ Therapeutics Viz. It's a solution. It's the first and only FDA-approved acetylene-based eye drop for presbyopia in adults. Presbyopia is an age-related vision condition where the eyes gradually lose the ability to focus on nearby objects.
Mhm.
Samples are anticipated in U.S. as early as October 2025. When they get the samples in, they're going to be pushing these to doctors. Doctors are going to be prescribing this. This is going to be going crazy. Viz contracts the iris sphincter muscle, resulting in a pinhole effect. Near Effect that uniquely achieves a sub 2 millimeter pupil that extends the depth of focus to significantly improve near vision without causing any myopic shift.
Okay.
Everybody up here is going to be going crazy for this. LENZ will be eligible to receive over 70 million in upfront regulatory and commercial milestone payments and tiered double-digit royalties on net sales because the commercialization is going through the roof. This is one definitely to buy. It's on my buy list. I recommend it to buy. Look it up. Do your research. The ticker symbol is LENZ. LENZ. LENZ Therapeutics. I missed the boat on this earlier this year when I should have bought it. I recommend to buy now.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I was just testing myself here. So this is something that's new for me. I've been wearing readers for a very long time, but like my eyes are getting worse and worse and worse, right? And now I
Yes.
have a computer job where I've been sitting at the computer and just staring at a screen all day. And if I take these glasses off here, a lot of the words that are on the screen I'm seeing two of.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's just
So
computer. There's a thing with you looking at screens all day that can do that too. You need to close your eyes, look away for 10 seconds, and look somewhere else. Go outside, man. Get some. I mean, outside. I say outside fixes everything because I love the outside. I love hiking, kayaking, running, outdoor sports, all the out. Any outs. Can't get as much outside in the winter. Snowboard, ski, whatever you got to do. But I feel like that does wonders for us.
it does. Helps with anxiety too.
All right, man. Final thoughts. Final thoughts. What you got?
Yeah, just because somebody's got competition, that's not a reason to sell the stock. You might have a reason to sell the stock once you see the reaction to the competition, if that's not good. But you want to sit back and wait and see. I mean, that's what businesses are. They're wars. And
Business Wars.
yeah, business,
It'd be on
which
the
is
History Channel in 20 years.
another great podcast, by the way, Business Wars. If you haven't listened to it, and it's really good to listen to too, as an investor, so that you're ready for these things. Anytime a company is making a ton of money, somebody's gonna pop up and try to take some of that,
Yep.
and you just have to watch and see how the company that you own reacts. That's all. There's never any real good reason to panic in the market, even when other people are panicking. It doesn't help.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help. Um, all right, my final thought is this. I'm not gonna sell bullish. I am gonna hold. There's good reason to hold. I feel like it should hold, but if you followed me into bullish, because some people have, that's your decision to make. I always tell everybody I do the best I can to offer advice. Do I get 80% right? Yes. That means I get 20% wrong. Could this be one of the ones I get wrong? Yes.
I know this is final thoughts and this is supposed to be short, but I'm not like I'm not challenging you here. I'm asking a legit question. So
Yes.
right now I think Bullish's price to earnings multiples around 165. And I
Okay.
know from my specific investments looking at Palantir having a ginormous multiple that that is not the entire story. However,
Correct.
I'm not very good with investing in cryptos just because it's not something that I usually do or that I've put my mind into. So,
Yes.
how does Bullish justify having, I think, 165 PE right now, even at its lows?
Because they haven't utilized the bullish system yet to fully invest in everything you can invest in with crypto. Crypto can be used for so many different cases. I mean, crypto staking alone can add billions to if you use it correctly to a company if used correctly. Coinbase could be making billions off of staking if they so chose. Crypto.com does a good job of using staking, and that's how they promote their business, and they make a lot of money with that. But then I got to go and explain in crypto staking. You can also, transactions, international transactions, money transactions, using Ripple in that regard. You can also use your facility to set up the Solana meme coin network on Bullish instead of on these all shady websites and apps that they have to do and take advantage of all the money that flows in and out of there every day. People just throwing in $1,000 randomly and then losing it all the time. Why not be the casino in that case and taking everybody's money? There's a lot of ways to make the money in crypto that it's so unheard of, untapped, that these PE ratios can seem outrageous, but they'll hit them. And
Okay.
especially as
So,
Bitcoin continues to go higher, it's gonna increase the percentages they take because they take percentages, not set dollar amounts.
so just on a basic layman's terms level, what does Bullish do? Like,
It's a
what is
crypto
that?
exchange like Coinbase and
Okay,
crypto.com.
gotcha. How are they better?
How are they better?
Yeah.
They're about the same.
Okay.
They're about the same.
So you think just
I
kind of
but
like an E-Trade Schwab thing that they could share the market and then both grow?
No, I think that Bullish has a better CEO in Peter Thiel.
Okay.
and a better founder, in that it's somebody that actually has vision. And this is why, because he was part of the PayPal mafia, he understands starting companies, building companies up, and that whole process. Versus, I don't have a strong belief in the Coinbase CEO as I do in Peter Thiel. I
Okay.
don't have as strong as belief in Crypto.com CEO as I do in Peter Thiel. For me, it's more of a bet on Peter Thiel, on
And
what he can do.
okay.
He has this company. It's a good company, and there's all this growth opportunity and potential, but I'm betting on Peter Thiel.
Okay. So sort of like what I did with Larry Culp and General Electric and
Yeah.
the CEOs that I've Bob Iger with Disney and stuff. I'm
Yep. There
betting
you
on.
go.
Okay.
All
Gotcha.
right. So yes. So that's what I'm gonna be doing with bullish, but nonetheless I am up again in Metsera. It's moved up since I bought back in with that 20%. Remember, I still own my original 80% when I was bought Metsera, a little bit around $20 ish is what I believe my cost basis was at that time, 19, 20, somewhere around there. I bought it really low. It's currently at 36. So 80% of it bought around that $20, just say $20. And then the next 20% was bought at 32. I'm sitting really happy in Metsera right now.
Okay.
I could just empty out Metsera, empty out bullish, and be up by a little bit overall because my Metsera profit would wipe out my bullish loss. I don't want to do that, but Metsera, I'm still holding it. I believe that's going to go higher, but now I'm looking at LENZ Therapeutics. So that if I really believe in LENZ Therapeutics a lot, I might exit bullish and put that money in LENZ. See if I can
Okay.
make it back.
Okay.
That's all I got. As always, we hope we have been entertaining, educational, and uplifting because we want everyone to make money. Have a good night.
Have a good night.